You're watching Drakewing Gaming. Enjoy the video.
Hey guys and gals, Never here from Drakewing Gaming, and something on Twitter, the Gaming Dragon. Today I'm coming back at you on the Let's Play episode of I Wanna Hug That Gator. So yeah, let's go ahead and jump right back in, shall we? Alarm chain, you are up, and let's go! There's no rigid structure or forced metaphors here, just a fantastical merger of creative expressionism and real-world beauty. I feel my fingers itching for the familiar weight of the DSLR. This is a piece that I want to immortalize in my portfolio. It's hands down the winner of the contest in my eyes. I simply must find who made this. It looks like this breathtaking show of artistic talent was created by semi-finalist winner... Oh! That's a problem. Ah, Inco, I'm glad you swung by. Looks like you're admiring the art contest entries. I told you that St. Hammond's artistic programs are unparalleled. That's not mine. What's not yours? I try to say more, but the words won't leave my mouth. Ben's eyes follow mine to the bottom of the painting in front of me, and I watch as he makes the same realization as I do. Inco, you didn't! Did you paint this? I had no idea your style was so developed, so humble. If I had known. That's not my entry. It's not? No, mine was a photograph. But what's your name doing on this one? It must be some kind of a mistake. A million scenarios come to mind. They must have got the wrong name somehow. If they did, I think the real artist would have come forward by now. And the submission website must be hacked or broken. But our school checks for stuff like that. If it was, we would have known by now. Then... Inco, you're sure you didn't submit somebody else's piece by accident? Of course I didn't. Why would I do something like that? You're the only one who can log into your account, Inco. Suddenly everything stops. My account. Did somebody? Look, relax, alright? We can get this sorted out. Just don't panic. Ben lowers his voice. But Inco, just to be clear. What? You didn't just get a bit of extra help, right? Ben looks at me through the edge of his glasses eye to eye. There's some real stakes in the contest. Cheating is taken seriously, especially fraud. The word echoes around inside me. Fraud. It makes my bones chill. There's ingenuine, faker, liar. They're all bad in different ways, but fraud is just dripping with frigid condemnation. No, I swear, I submitted a photograph. Ben relaxes his shoulders. Alright, just making sure. Sorry to alarm you. It's perturbing how he can go from deadly serious to jovial like a flipped switch. You going to be alright? Sorry, I need some air. Hey, feel free. I'll let Scalar know, okay? Yeah, thanks, Ben. No problem. Take it easy. Ben offers me an earnest smile, waving at me as he steps out of the room and down the hall. After some time, I follow him, shambling down the hall as I try to make sense of what just happened. There we go. I thought everybody actually liked my photography, but they all thought I was some kind of expert painter instead. I don't even know how to express it. I feel empty. I thought maybe my hard work was finally paying off, but... I submitted the right entry, so what happened? Did somebody change it? And if so, how? It's such a good piece, too. What even is there to be gained by putting my name on it? I wander aimlessly through the halls. The thought of missing lunch passes through my mind, but there's a different sort of emptiness pervading my stomach. Why is this rattling me like this? Man, it's not like I'm in trouble or anything. Ben's helping me sort this out. I'm at a loss of what to even think right now. Oh, crap. Olivia mentioned something about server issues before. I couldn't see my submission, but... was it just that? Maybe Olivia was right to be worried. Well, duh, why else would she be so nervous? My aimless walking leads me outside the principal's office in the gala. There's that one cityscape painting from the start of the school year. The very first painting I ever saw, and still one of the best. A vibrant cityscape that morphs the rigid structure of urban planning into a soft and inviting utopia, as if viewed from the eyes of a child. The sky above the city is a beautiful shade of crimson, with radiant clouds clustered along its length. If the art contest submission was the best painting I've ever seen, then this one comes close. I can only imagine the accolades she must have gotten for painting this back then. You know, for a while I got to have that experience. I got to step in the shoes of an artist much better than myself. Maybe that was the intent. All the praise, approval, everything I've been wanting. Just for a while, it was given by an anonymous stranger, whoever that may be. It's gotta be Olivia. I think that's gotta be Olivia. Actually, this gives me a bit of an idea. If I'm clever and Olivia's up for it, this could be a cool way to get her to show off her painting more. Everyone would like that, so maybe that's what she needs. I could act as like a personal publisher for her so she doesn't have to deal with people. Huh. Wait a second. I peeled down the empty hallway. I need to find Olivia. She couldn't possibly. But why me? Why would she... Thinking about it only increases my worries and desperation to find who I hope to rapture Jesus isn't the culprit. I haphazardly check all the places where Olivia could be, but can't find her anywhere. My hunt for the baryonyx leads me to the second floor of the atrium. It feels like there's a lead brick in the pit of my stomach as I internalize my current situation. A soft pattering of rain hitting the window grabs my attention to see a gloom-covered Volcadera outside. My eyes wander along the school's pathway, covered in mud thanks to the earlier rainfall. Wait a minute. Those look like tracks in the mud. I burst through the main entrance doors and am met with the feeling of droplets hitting my head. Outside, a dark overcast has rolled in. The forecast called for an on and off rain during the day, but pretty gnarly clouds. Makes it look almost dusk around. Crap, what am I wasting time for? I follow the trail with urgency, fearing that the rain will wash it away. Looks like it goes down the whole pathway. I ignore my clothes, becoming progressively damp and the water collecting on my shades. Eventually, I round the curve that leads to the bridge and see a distressing item at its end. A wheelchair. Olivia's wheelchair. Empty of the occupant, toppled on its side. A new fear grips at me, born from the mental imagery provided by that sight. Those cruel thoughts push me up the steps further than humanly possible, even as my rational mind tries to reassure me. Running across the deck, my breath is caught in my throat when I reach the middle. She's on the ground, head slumped down. There's damage and soaked school supplies scattered all over the walkway. Oh God, is she okay? My foot shifts, trying to force me closer. Slowly her head lifts up to the sound of my shoes squelching on the floor. Inco? Her tear-stained eyes stare at me with a dead expression, and her voice sounds weak. Olivia. I feel like I can finally breathe again. Slowly, Olivia pushes herself up, and I notice she's lying on top of a pile of paper shreddings. The feeling of relief slowly fades away, and I remember just why I was looking for her. We stay silent, only staring at each other as the rain continues to bear down on us. She simply sits there, letting herself grow more and more soaked from the rain. Do you want to talk? No. Not out in the open. I grab my compact umbrella from my backpack and unfurl it. It doesn't do much to dry Olivia off, but at least she's not getting more soaked. The umbrella is placed between us and the elements again, against the ledge, forming a personal canopy above us. Here, now we're alone. There's space next to Olivia to take a seat. It's odd. We've sat together before, but sitting on the ground in the rain, and the room is just a little claustrophobic. There's bits of paper melted onto the pavement, soaked by rain. Though torn apart and waterlogged, I can sort of make out a tree. A rough sketch of one, anyway. Like the one that stood prominently in my false submission. So you did do it. Inco, please, I can explain. I didn't have a choice. What? I know what I did was wrong, but I didn't have any other way. It wasn't a choice to not trick me? She avoids looking at me, focusing on the scraps of paper scattered about the floor like confetti. It wasn't to trick you, I get it. You're mad at me. I'm not mad. I'm just confused. I thought we were good friends. I wasn't expecting it. Expecting you. She pauses to give her throat some respite. Her usual water bottle isn't anywhere nearby. A shaky breath escapes her mouth. When you came around, I thought you were no different than the others. Yet you're some self-centered, pretentious midwit who only cares about his image. That's when I got the idea of using you to swap out your art with mine. You didn't seem like the kind of person who cared about how he gets the attention from others, just that he gets it. Her description of my character feels really reductive, but the ache in my chest tells me it hits a little too close to home. That's not what I think of you now. Huh? Edekin's the one person I can trust, so when he went to bat for you, saying we'd make good friends, I was worried. What's so special about this guy? I honestly got scared to be wrong, that you'd be just like everyone else and I'd be setting myself up for failure. But worse than that, Inco, I was afraid he'd be right, and I'd have to face what I'd done to myself. And now I've gone and done something like this. Switching my contest entry? She nods, swallowing hard. I wasn't thinking. Suddenly everything was out of balance. Everything I'd created, all my work, my own little world was suddenly changing, and I had no control of it. I just had to do something. I didn't know I was doing that. I'm sorry. She stops to process my words and continues. I knew I'd get caught. It's stupid. And I was hoping for it, even. Someone to figure out that it was swapped, so it would be changed and everyone would be none the wiser. She turns to face me with silver eyes welled with tears. I'm sorry. Please don't hate me. I just don't want to go back to being the person I used to be. The person who didn't care about hurting you. Her head tilts downward with a violent hitch of breath. Ivory claws extend and grip at her knees in a painful display, and yet Olivia chokes back any sound she'd make. Her body shudders with every heavy breath from her, and I realize that every last defensive barrier she had was completely gone. Olivia's laid herself bare, leaving only the crying girl desperately trying to silence her pitiful tears. I can't hate you. Faced with those unbidden words from Olivia, I'd have to be a heartless bastard to do anything but accept her apology. It's clear that the guilt has been rotting in her conscience ever since. What she did was wrong, no doubt about it. But then again, thinking of her circumstances, how can I blame her? How could anyone? I probably would have ended up having to do the same thing in her shoes. At this point, Olivia's put herself through enough stress as it is. If there's one thing she needs to hear right now, it's that I forgive her. I don't hate you, Olivia. You don't? No, I don't. I won't lie, I definitely felt hurt when I first found out. But the fact that you're willing to admit your mistakes shows that you're growing as a person. I'm really glad to hear that we're friends. It's refreshing to hear her say it. I was worried she was only just putting up with me. Olivia seems understandably puzzled over my lack of anger towards her. I figured you'd be more upset. Is this just your pity? If so, I don't want it. It's not pity, Olivia. I'm accepting your apology. I don't want you to feel guilty about it. The sooner we can put all this behind us, the better. But I can tell you're a good person, so don't worry about it, alright? I offer her my best smile. Olivia slowly nods. When you put it that way, I guess... But still, truth be told, I deserve to fail, but to actually face consequences. I'm such a fucking fraud. All over a damn painting. Olivia, you did what you thought you had to do, and you're saying sorry for the consequences. That's all that matters. I scooch closer to Olivia. Huh? That was you taking action in a way I never would have guessed. A crime of passion, I think it's called. I'm probably wrong, but she gets the idea. The world runs on those. You don't need to change. I don't think you did anything wrong. Alright, y'all, actually gotta pause it right here. Thank y'all so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, ring that notification bell, and check out our Patreon if you can. It always helps. Before I go, I give a quick shout out to our lovely patrons. Thank y'all for all you do for the channel. We greatly appreciate your support. Anyway, I love you all, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Bye-bye!